We got a special guest here in the building, Clarkoh, coming all the way from Boston here on Sports and Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, WSJU Radio, St. John's University, Queens, New York, as you all know. Clarkoh, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good.
I want to shout out to Andrew. I want to, yeah, not much, just enjoying my time off right now, still doing the show live and all that, carrying on through the holidays. I don't stop. I keep going. I want to shout out Andrew for connecting us, really, because he told me a lot of good things about you. And, you know, I don't give a lot of opportunities to independent artists as I used to, because I started analyzing how independent artists act sometimes. Sometimes they don't support you to the fullest. They'll like, I'll give you an example. I posted the flyer yesterday for our show, and one will never ever like my post on Instagram. They'll like it once, and then they'll be like, oh, hey, and start, kissing my ass for an interview. But Clarkoh is here in the building here today off of Pure Talent. I appreciate the email that you sent me. It was genuine, and you came off as very professional and someone that really wanted to connect with me in promoting the music and establishing a relationship that really gets your music heard to the college audience. And there's industry professionals that do follow me and who probably watch my page 100%. And I think it's a great look for you to be on the show here tonight and just listening to your music. I gave Rosedale a great listen. I listened to it 2 or 3 times, as I listen to a lot of music when I'm cleaning, because when I'm cleaning, I'm in just focus mode and to just really diving into the music. And I really analyze the lyrics in every song. I think Pop Off would be a major radio hit.
I think so too. I'm the exact same way. When I'm cleaning, I gotta have the headphones on and I'm just going. That's just podcast or music. And for the most part, it's podcast right now, but when I clean, I gotta have something on. I can't clean in silence. If you can, something is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not connecting. If you can clean in silence, not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pop Off. I like that record. I like all the records, but
Foul was another good one.
Which one?
Foul.
Yeah, I like that one. I remember when I was creating that one, I had a story on how that song even came apart, and it's definitely not what you would expect for sure.
Do you want to tell a story or?
Well, actually, yeah. So Foul. All right. So that record was conceived on the notion of a cat, literally. So me and my brother lived together for like 2 years. We actually just moved out, but he came home with this cat one day, and I was just like, okay. And then as quick as she came, as quick as I started just loving her, period. She was the best. And one day I was just playing with her, and she didn't want to play. And I'm like, what? Like any other time you want to play, and then now you don't, and then I'm ready to play. So that's kind of how the record came across, because there's like this cat toy that you just swing back and forth and they run and get it. And literally that's how it came across. I was just like, I can make a song about that, literally. But that's how the inspiration came from. Like, all right, now you want to chase on the prowl, like now you want to play. Girl, you let her play, Foul. And then I put it into real world circumstances and started drawing from experiences like that. But the record came about just off a whim of the cat didn't want to play. Her name is Shuri, and that's why when I made the merch for that song, you'll see on my website, clarkoh.com/shop, got a plug. There's a shirt that just says Rosedale with a woman with a Black Panther headdress on her, and then she has tattooed on the arm Foul. That's how, because the cat was an all black cat, made the merch like that, just to show the inspiration of how the track even sparked.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot to get into here tonight. We could be here all night if you wanted. This is your time. I mean, from the website, from the music, the merch, everything. But that's interesting how you had a story behind that song, especially with the cat. I like about something that I definitely like about your music is that you take life experiences and you put it in your music, and it could be something simple as that. And that's like that's something that I criticize in music, because I want people to establish their own sound, tell stories, have something interesting to say. Don't just talk about money and the flashy cars and all this stuff. Bring something to music, because as someone that's a huge fan of the 90s hip hop and R&B scene and all that, I appreciate what you're doing with your own music. And that's establishing your own sound.
Appreciate that. I definitely feel the same way. I do feel like people should prioritize writing about what they know. It's definitely easy to write about what you like, something that you might not necessarily represent. I'm not gonna lie, it's super easy to write about that. Like I can get on the track and just say, I got 10 bands on your head tonight, like, or something like that, or just saying the clip is ready for you. But it wouldn't come off as the most authentic, especially like if your image doesn't really match like that. And it's not like you can say that, but it's everyone else around you. That's where it's not gonna connect. And because they'll be looking at you, and everyone else, the world is now just putting you on a microscope, and then people want to test your gangster. So I just feel like people should rap about what they know. If that's what you know, go ahead. I do think a lot of that subject matter though is career limiting, but it works. It works. But you don't really hear too much of those songs getting played past the radio, like when you want to talk about getting in movies, television, and stuff like that. But it works, definitely. It works. It can get you hot today.
And then you're forgotten years later, and you don't want to be that way. You want to be someone that's always remembered. And I tried to envision when I was listening to your album what songs I heard on the radio. Like I said, I hear Foul, I like Second Guessing. I think that's another good one. Pop Off. I pop off immediately. I think that's the number one I would turn to if someone was saying, Max, which song do you hear on the radio off of this album? I think that one. It should be on the radio. It should be playing on Hot 97 and all these other stations, because I analyze things, especially what the sound is gearing towards right now in the music industry. I know a lot of guys who are very lyrical, and I know it's not going to make radio because it kills me, because I wish we had boom bap and radio and stuff like that. But your sound is more geared towards that, what we're hearing out here now, but it's your own style, which I respect. And like I said, Pop Off should be on the radio. It should be.
Hey, let's do it. But in regards to like that boom bap sound just not being on the radio, to be honest, it starts with the beat selection. It does. The boom bap beats are super limiting. And when you hear it, when people talk about, when you'll hear a certain crowd of people be like, oh, I only listen to old school hip hop. That's what they're referring to. But when they're saying that, basically like that stuff doesn't get commercial replay because, and I think it's the beat. It's not even that the subject matter, it's boring. No, it's not that. It's they don't feel like it's up tempo enough. And a lot of it isn't. And it sounds dated most of the time. It wouldn't fit with top 40 today, but I like old school hip hop. But I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to listen to it on repeat as a new artist because when I listen to it, I'm listening to it from the perspective of an artist, and I'm constantly being told that my era or generation is never gonna be as good as what was in the 90s. And to me, I always just think about it like, one of us has to be better than them. One of us. I mean, I would prefer it be me, but one of us, whether it's 10 years from now, a year from now, one of us has to be able to replace back then. You can't tell me that nothing can be better than that. That's just how I feel about it. So when I listen to those records, I love them. But at the same time, I feel on edge when I listen to them because it's hard to just not think of it as competition, because there's always going to be that one crowd or that one person is always like, oh, nah, you can't be better than Pop. Or they can't imagine you in the same sentence as that. And all those guys are great. But just like in sports, records always get broken.
That's true.
And it happens daily. So you can't tell me that it can't happen in art. So
that's true. The thing is, though, I always speak of balance. You can have the new sound out here. I just want the boom bap on the radio a little more, because you look at someone like Davies and even the Griselda guys. Those guys, they've reinvented that boom bap sound, and people are liking it. They're finding their audience. The audience is still there. It's just I want that the more spotlight on them too.
Yeah.
Because the young guys out here doing their thing, I want everyone to win. That's my main thing. Everyone's got to win.
So what I think is like with Davies and Griselda and them boys. So basically, they sound elegant now. Like it doesn't sound like boom bap. They are very influenced by it, but it's way more intricate than that. The way they spit their bars, the beat structure on top of that.
Yep.
It's new age boom bap, and it's definitely commercial ready. I don't even want to consider it like golden era boom bap because these days they're not even rapping on that. Well, some of them rap on samples, but they're not samples. They're literally recreated instruments. So I don't even want to call it that. It's literally its own thing.
Yeah.
And they're excelling at it.
They are.
Well, I would love to do a song with them for sure.
Oh yeah, I think that would be fire. It would definitely be interesting to hear how you are on it with them because you're your own artist and you like the new sound, and I think that would be an interesting collaboration. I know Dave East, you guys would definitely link up good because he's done those types of songs. He's done a lot of them, so you guys would be able to work on that, have a great chemistry on a record like that.
And I think it would be a good, just a nice dichotomy between two people like. One, we're on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So like, I'm not street at all. I'm from the street, but I'm not of the streets. And so I like to hold my perspective on just my own 2 feet.
Yeah.
And my sense of view on the world. So I think it'll be cool to see how those would collide.
Yeah. I think that would be interesting. That's something in the near future. Before we get into people that you want to collaborate with, I'd like to start with your backstory of growing up in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. So, all right. So I grew up in Dorchester. That's where I've been for the majority of my life. I went to school in the suburbs, bussed out every day. Mm-hmm. Basically, I don't really know if I have much of a life story. It's just, I always just felt like, even as a kid, that I was that dude. I mean, I just felt like I didn't know why I felt that way or what I was gonna do. It wasn't music. I just always kind of felt like, nah, I'm gonna be something, and like, and so like just hanging around, it was cool. But after, I didn't really want to be outside just doing nothing. I always wanted to just be like either on the clock, hustling, whether it's like just making T-shirts, selling those at school, terrible quality. Looking back, horrible quality, but it's part of my story. It's what I did. It was like, it's how I even made money to get my first microphone back in 10th grade. It's just peddling these iron-on transfer T-shirts, always into art as a kid. And then, but sports are my main thing. I always thought, I was going to the NFL. I think everyone does, but as a kid, that's kind of what I would gravitate towards. I would gravitate towards my dreams so heavily and hold them close because I always kind of felt like it's childish, but I always kind of felt like that's the way that my family is gonna like show me that genuine love that I was just kind of craving. I was like, if I could do this, they'll love me or like that. Yeah. They already obviously did love me, but it was hard for me to manifest that as a child because I did kind of feel like alienated within my own household. But that's all in the child's mindset. Like, I'm an adult now and I can look back and be like, you got to understand that people are people too, and that they kind of sacrifice everything that they wanted to do just to raise you. So I grew up definitely very selfish and self-serving, thinking I was just, everything's at the center of me. And then, yeah, that's just kind of like me in a bubble period. And now some of those things definitely carried over into my adult life, but I look at it in more of a lens like, okay, I'm grown now. And I could finally be just moving forward with my own story, not having any resentment or anything. But yeah, so I'll say the sum of my story is kid who grew up in Boston. I don't necessarily think I was supposed to be great. I mean, I'm regular as hell, but I refuse to believe that. I just feel like, nah, something is going to happen in my life.
And you kept the hope alive, and here you are here today. Something that's interesting that you mentioned before is that you said you grew up self-serving. How were you able to get out of that mind frame? Because I look at a lot of people. You haven't? You said that you've grown a little bit though.
I've grown a lot, but that's one thing I don't think it's gonna. Literally, I just kind of feel like when I say self-serving, I don't necessarily think of it as a bad thing. I just think of it as not so much of a basically I tend to put myself before others all the time. For instance, like I work a lot, like a lot, and I keep telling myself that, well, the more hours I put in on the clock, it's more money I could put into my business, my music, etc. So like I'll cancel on pretty much damn near everything for the pursuit of money. You know what I mean? And that isn't necessarily, it's good. It's like shows work ethic and priorities, but at the same time, it's like you miss out on people who actually like want you to be around and want to be able to connect. And then, but when I say self-serving, it just means that for the most part, I just feel like I'm gonna always put myself first. I care about other people for sure, but I just
sometimes that could lead you to a downfall.
If it's me or you, it's me.
Yeah. Sometimes that could lead you to a downfall is learning about life. And, sometimes it's better to focus on yourself because you go a long way that way and you put more into yourself. If you're helping others, your energy's going to those people, and those people may not have your best interest and could be snakes.
Exactly.
So focus on yourself, man. That's how you get further in life. And I'm 21 years old, and I'm learning that still today. And, I'm starting to really put effort just into myself because I grew up a caring person. I was always taught to give back, and it's not even just about the give back part, but to care about others. And I care about other people as well. But there's times when I care too much that it hurts you in the end, and you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when you realize you got to keep going.
Don't be so like as you get older. Don't be so in tune with thinking that you got to do it by yourself.
Yeah,
like that's how I am too. I tend to take on a lot of things by myself because I just don't believe that the next person is going to do the same thing that I'm doing better than me. And so I feel like if I'm going to do it better than you, I'm not going to ask you to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to handle it. But the problem with that is you become overworked, overtired, or just stress in general. But then you start feeling like people have things out for you. Like if I allow them to do this for me, eventually maybe they'll like just snake me in the future. Maybe they'll take all my rights or something or period. But you just can't, as you get older, just don't let that be too much of a guiding principle in your life that, I got to do everything by myself. Because there are people better than you at something. And it would be nice to use their professional expertise. Like for instance, if you need someone to mix something or whatever, I'm gonna always go with the person who's better than me at that. Like delegate out some of the tasks so that you can actually focus on being good. So that's what I learned, and that's what second guessing kind of covers as well. That song, don't try to always be by yourself because you're just gonna always kind of like second guess your thoughts. Like be stern on what actions you're gonna take, but at the end of the day, if you're always in your head by yourself, it's just not gonna go nowhere good. Nowhere well, for sure.
No, that's right, man. When you created your first project, what year was that?
All right,
because I know you're on your fourth one.
Okay, all right. So this is the fourth one, Rosedale.
Yeah.
All right, but if we're going off of not official releases,
this wasn't an official release. Okay.
The first official release was actually back in 2010.
Okay.
When I didn't have a rap name at the time. I was just going by my real name, Jabari. So my name is Jabari Clarkson Coy Gooden. And the first one I released was in 2010. That one was called Real Life Games. And I thought it was fire. That was under my real name, Jabari. I thought it was fire. If I listen back, I cringe.
You cringe?
And I press play. Cringe. It is terrible, trash, but you couldn't tell me nothing back then. I was like, this is the best you ever heard. I don't know why I'm not on yet. I'm better than everybody. It was trash though, but that was the first release. I have it on my website. It's in like the footer section under the before Clarkoh, but fast forward, if we're going with the era of Clark Sage and Clarkoh, that was 2014. And that's what you're talking about, the Modest Anomaly, the first commercial release, I would say. That's where I felt like I was actually good enough, like just lyrically, maybe not. At the time, I thought it was the best performance that I could have made too, but obviously you grow.
Yeah.
But 2014, that's when that came out. I made it because I felt like I wanted to kind of establish myself in the city. No one knew me. They still don't know me, to be real. But basically, that was the first project that got me even on somewhat of a national like presence. It got me put on like Pitchfork, literally out of just connecting through Tumblr back in the day. And came across this guy's name was Craig, and I just hit him up with a message like, yo, listen to this if you want, and possibly write about it in Pitchfork. He never hit me back up. All I seen was one day that shit was on Pitchfork. I was excited as hell. I was bouncing off the wall. And then, so that was the first thing that got me just somewhat some national presence, period. And yeah, that was the first project. I was hiding my face on that one because I was just like, dang, it seems like no one really like messing with my music when I just kind of have like just me out there. So I just started blurring my face out. And then about like a year later, I see Kanye with the mask on, with the covering his whole face. And
that was with Yeezus.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm dead in this whole thing because I would never get the credit for it. And then I looked into it. I wasn't even the first. Remember I said I was so self-serving? I was thinking about, oh, I did this, I did that. I wasn't even the first. I started seeing Ghostface, and yeah, I was like, wow. But well, not just him. It was like the whole Wu-Tang Clan on like an album cover and stuff. I was like, damn. But that was 2014. That was the first release.
Yeah.
I still listen to that. I could listen to that one without cringing.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, that just shows that you progressed over the time in creating your projects, and you only get better with time. Because if you don't, you're not meant for it. But obviously here you're meant for it. And with me saying that you're meant for music, when did you start to develop a passion for making music?
I'll say 2010. Mm-hmm. So I didn't write anything. I never thought I was gonna be a rapper ever.
Yep. You mentioned that before, yeah.
And so I'll say I wrote my first one in like November or December 2008, but that was just a song for a project in school. And so I noticed I had a passion for it in 2010 when I would just be writing out of nowhere. Like, I don't even know why I'm writing right now. Mm-hmm. I don't have to make any more school projects. And I just was like, just write. And I'll go to my boy Ainsley's house out in Concord, because that's where we went to school. Mm-hmm. And we would just be in the basement and just writing and recording. We was using Audacity.
Audacity
we
making
was making trash beats on FL Studio. Now I'm good on FL Studio today, but back then I was like, what is this? And then I just found myself, I'll be at his house like every day in the basement just writing, or we'd be on just Facebook or playing games and everything. And then we'll go out and then we'll write about what we went out about. Yeah. And then literally that's just kind of when I noticed that, all right, I actually like this. This is cool for sure. And then I started getting in my head after that one, like, oh, I'm about to get mad bitches, mad money. I'm gonna be an illest rapper. And then I was rapping about like dumb shit. But, but that's when I noticed I had a passion for it. Mm-hmm. When I thought I was good. I thought I was a shit back then. So I was thinking I was fire. Mm-hmm. But obviously looking back, that wasn't the case.
When was it that you realized that you really had a gift for making music? Was it a reaction of someone that was listening to what you played for them? What was it?
I think, to be honest, I feel like I made the realization that I had a gift on the 2014 album, but I'll say it didn't manifest until the 2016 album, For Something Greater. That's the one where I was like, I got this in the bag. That's when I didn't care about anyone's opinion on my music, good or bad, because I was gonna make the same song whether you liked it or you didn't like it. So if they said, "Oh, that song's fire," to me, it's just like, okay, cool. I was gonna make the same song anyway.
Yeah.
And if you didn't like it, it was okay, cool. I was gonna make the same song anyway. So that's the record, For Something Greater, where I was just like, I belong here. I belong here. I went crazy with that one. I was hiring actors to come in to my house. I had built this like studio in my house, and I hired a bunch of voice actors, come through, say the lines out, downloaded a bunch of sound effects, and literally just mapped them out as if it was a movie, but just audio. Mapped it out. So every sound you heard on that, it wasn't like I went out and recorded it on a video. I literally just placed it, pushed it, brought it to the studio. International show made it a story. He just killed it from there.
That's wild.
But that's when I feel like I had the gift on the 2016 album.
You mentioned something interesting before, not caring what people's opinions were, whether they're negative or positive. You look at comments on Instagram or even the Apple Music reviews and Spotify reviews, all the music reviews, YouTube or whatever platform that an artist showcases and puts their music on. Were you able to get into that mind frame where you just didn't care what other people thought about your music, especially the negative comments, because negative comments can bring you down drastically?
Okay, so off the rip, I never had any haters before. I never had anyone be like, "Oh, this sucks," or anything like that. They would
probably
say,
1 in a million.
not, but it's not like to say they only had good comments. It was what got me to that, not caring, was when I could see the disconnect in their face when they tell me it's good. And I could see that they just trying to be nice. Or they'll say like, "Oh, this is okay," and things like that. And then those are the comments that made me go like pulling my hair, everything just like stressed out, like it's only okay.
Yeah.
But I never had anyone just be like, "This is trash," or anything like that. They would lie to me and be like, "Oh, it's good," but, and then that's when I started to feel like, that's when I would connect and go, all right, this song ain't these lyrics, they weren't good enough. Da, 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 da. So I would be the own judge on the music and be like, nope, it's not strong enough. If your first reaction wasn't damn, or I can't see that instant head nod or anything like that, or you say anything beyond like, you just say anything and it's not matching the facial expression or anything I can tell, because I'm good at reading people like that. It's just, I'll know, all right, this song isn't it. I don't need you to even go, this is trash, or get online and be like, he's horrible. But even if I did see, it would just be like, all right. It would be like, okay. The same way that, kind of other people deal with it. I'm not any different. So
it's all about having.
But
continue.
I said it might, like, the off first glance on it be like, but then I'd be like, oh yeah, but that's just, I'm not for everybody. That's how.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a strong mental mind state for this game, especially music, because you can't listen to what other people say, because at the same time, your music can be fire, but someone may not like it. Like I look at all the time, like you see on these reviews, and people were calling Dave East trash and stuff. And so you really can't look at it, because Dave East is a great artist, a great rapper. I mean, Who cares what the
Yeah,
critics say?
exactly.
And that's how you have to move forward. And just create in Rosedale. I know you took a long time to make this, and that's key because you put a lot of time and effort into the music. And I call it the microwave rap era, where people make something up real quick, and it's dropping next Friday, and it doesn't hold any value. I want something that's going to last longer than a week. At this
Yeah,
rate, let's give them some kind of advantage starting point. How about a week? Last longer than
yeah.
a week instead of one play and it's done.
Mhm.
And I think that's why it was interesting to hear Rosedale, because you actually express emotions on there. You have storytelling on there. It's really just a double album all about yourself. I mean, double albums are never even made anymore. We look back at double albums such as Tupac's All Eyes on Me,
Mhm.
Notorious B.I.G.'s Life After Death. We could put Rosedale right in there for up and
Woo.
coming new artists.
Let's go. Let's go. So I would say that, well, off the rip, I don't think I'm gonna do a double album again. But when I was creating this, it was I started in like 2017 with a few songs. First one was You Don't Know Me Now, but it's not on there. Because I was at first uploading in installments um, for Rosedale, because I was trying to get with the times. Like, oh, I should put out singles, I should put out EPs. So I was like, okay, I don't have enough money to be promoting every single. So I chose to go in EP installments. And then I noticed that I couldn't keep up with my writing schedule, my work schedule. So I uploaded those. They were supposed to be on Rosedale. Uh, then I took them down because I was going to put them on Rosedale to re-upload them as Rosedale. Apple and iTunes, they're like, nope. So then I just said, all right, scratch it. Those songs are going to be what they were already. So that's why I've seen this before Rosedale. And then I literally just created everything off Rosedale from brand new. And that one, just taken from my life experiences that I went through living in my first apartment on Rosedale Street in Dorchester in Boston. So I would like go to school, I was at UMass Boston at the time, and come home, write as much as I could while I was at home, just period. I'll go out and stuff like that. So this was around 2013 when I got the apartment, all the way to 2018 when I moved out. So that's where the album experiences are drawn from. So yeah, a bunch went into that, but the majority of the album was actually written in about, I'll say, 4 months, from December to March. Just we went on the pandemic. Just
Yeah, how did
everything.
your writing style change, or just your mind frame during the pandemic? Because the pandemic hits you
Yeah.
and you're missing writing your album.
So I was working at New Balance at the time, and I only had enough verses to do this one show that I had to preview some of the tracks on Rosedale. And basically January came by, and the corona hit, whatever. February comes by, we're still working at the store. They closed the store in February. And I just said to myself, I only have a limited amount of time to finish this album before the store opens back up. And I'm about to use it as much as I can. So I would do is just stay at my other job, because I work overnight. And as a security officer, basically, I would just write on shift, boom, 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 and just keep writing. I had the beats looping in my ear. And so I noticed that when it's crunch time, I can deliver. That's how my writing changed. I was like, all right, once I actually started thinking like just a business and putting deadlines on things. So before, I never really operated with deadlines. I would just be free form and curate when I wanted to curate. But now that I'm actually trying to like make money off of my writing and recordings in general, I was like, you got to be done by this time, do this, and this, so I can go to the studio and have this much time for promotion and everything like that. So I was going crazy. I would just be like writing. Sometimes I wouldn't even have the words. I'll just mumble it, record it on the voice note, and then go back in and like a coloring book, fill in the lines. That's how I noticed my writing process change. It became more like, oh, I have the stencil in my head now. Like, so every time I approach a record, it doesn't really matter how long it takes me to write a record, because I'll just start something new. It's more so if I don't have the words now, I might have the words in 6 months. And that's just kind of how I'll go through it. But it's like a coloring book. I'll just record a voice note with the flow, go back in and color within the lines. And that's kind of how I approached it. And so the majority of that album of Rosedale was written and recorded from, I'll say, because I started in like November, October, I'll say from there, and the last song, which is Wits and Ways 3, because I always do the intro last, I finished writing that like the first week of March. And then I sat on the album from while it was getting mixed and everything. So I had the album in my hand in full in June. And I was really just listening to it by myself, me and my brother. We were just listening to it. And I wasn't like I was waiting for anything to happen to release it. It was more like I just wanted to make sure that I knew I was feeling the records.
Yeah.
But I was having like doubts on the release, because I just felt like every time I release something, it flops, 10 grand down the drain, period. That's just how I feel. And when I say flop, like obviously the work is good, but it's not matching any of the sales or the streaming numbers. I'm getting like 2 plays.
How's Rosedale doing?
Oh, it's still flopping right now.
It's flopping.
To be real. But when I say flop, it's because I'm comparing myself to the acts that are like already on and popping, on the radio, getting consistent radio play and stuff like that. And because I'm putting my music to be on par with them, there's no other way to say it. It's just I'm here, they here. But every single time someone hears this album, they say it's phenomenal. Yeah. But
that was basically my reaction to it.
In terms of numbers, it's trash. But in terms of impact and actually like just being good, it's great.
Yeah.
But I believe that this year those numbers are gonna match the talent for sure.
And then that's where we start here. It's when you start being able to be given the opportunities. And the big thing about Rosedale was you speaking about making connections as well. And that's important for you right now in the stage of the game, because you have everything. And we're going to get into the website and the merch and all the great things that you've put forth in your own platform and built that equity within yourself. It's a matter of people finding you, seeing you, and hopefully I'm able to really get you out there even more than now as the platform that you have right here tonight at St. John's. This is a starting point for you, man. And it's only right that other people start to find you, because like you said, the album is phenomenal, and you wouldn't be on the show here tonight if your album was terrible. I don't put trash artists on my show, man. I really don't. I don't. So you got to have some sort of talent.
I've seen the guest list. Before I emailed you about it, I was like, let me check on this content. And I was actually watching. I actually watched 3 episodes of your weekly podcast.
Yeah.
I caught the Static Selective interview, the Mickey Fax one, and then I also I saw the Guap Dad one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, let me check it out, because I actually want to go on this platform in general, and I wanted to get a feel for it, like who you were and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. By the time I watched the Guap Dad one, I was like, I'm writing the email.
Yeah.
Andrew had already introduced us, and I told him, I was like, I'm definitely going to reach out, but I didn't know how I was going to word the email yet I didn't want to just jump in the email blind and be like, I want to be on the show. And then, it doesn't connect. I knew I would connect, but it was more like, I don't want to approach the show asking for something and I haven't even checked you out.
Mm-hmm.
And be like,
That means a lot. I appreciate you for checking me out. I bet you half the people that are in my DMs last night didn't even check me out. They just see the guest list. Oh, let me get a little bit of college radio clout, and that's not going to happen. Sorry. And I really enjoy listening to the album, and you really got to be a dope artist to be on the show if you're independent.
Word.
Because I'm willing to give them a platform. I started out with just independents my first year as a freshman, and they were dope artists. Still wasn't taking the nonsense that people were sending me in sometimes, because you can't be a yes man in this industry at the same time. And that's why you're here tonight, man, because people got to see your talent. Like you said, you say that the numbers are flopping. F the numbers, man, because once people start listening to the album and your musical content, they're gonna be like, oh, he should be on the radio. And I told you, pop off. If I'm a programming director or music director and I'm charged of the on-air rotations at these big stations, Pop Off is on there because it's something that sounds similar to something that's on the radio, but it's not that artist. It's Clarkoh.
Word. I fuck with Pop Off.
Yeah.
A lot.
I'm telling you, I'm co-signing that track for you. Pop Off is the one.
If you listen to the stream right now, make sure you put Pop Up on the rotation.
Yep.
Right after this stream, or even while we streaming.
Yep. Yeah, check it out because I'm someone that people have said I have a great ear for music, and it's that one. That one, for some reason, I like a lot of them on there, but that's the number one hit for you. There's something about it. I don't know what it is. It's the hook. Word. It's the energy. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. It's that good. That's the one.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I can actually, because I'll listen to the album. But for the most part, I'm creating new things right now. But when I listen to that album, I love when that one comes on.
Yeah.
I just love the way it just starts. And then, no time to blink.
Yeah.
I'm about to pop off. Yeah.
I like that one. Yeah. That's something that's great for a party. It's great for when you're driving in the car. It's good for any moment.
Fun fact, you said you brought up second guessing.
Mm-hmm.
There's at the end of second guessing, that little bridge outro. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, that 10-second part is my favorite part on the whole album. That 10-second outro is my favorite on the whole album.
Mm-hmm. Like, and why is that?
I don't know. I think I like my vocal tone on it. Mm-hmm. And it's just saying like, why are you out there second guessing? And when I think that to myself, I just feeling like, yeah, I need to start moving with more authority and just in general, like be more assertive about my career and actually going out for what I want. Cause I let a lot of opportunities slip out of the fact that I feel like, oh, they should be reaching out to me. And then, but who are you? Like,
yeah,
what did you do to earn them to reach out to you? Things like that. Like go out there and make it happen. Stop thinking, oh, shit is just gonna come. And because I work with one foot in the door and one foot out the door now. Like a lot of other artists, they just jump straight into their music. And I can never do that. Well, because one, music is fucking expensive. It's crazy how expensive this shit is.
Recording, studio sessions, time and a lot of time and effort. I know what you guys go through, especially if you're passionate about it and you're an independent artist. That there's a lot of times when you got to put your whole paycheck into the damn thing. Yeah. I know, man. I talk to artists all the time. Yep.
So when you put that in totality of, I would just be like, damn, I went to college. I graduated, I had 2 degrees, but all the other artists, they get to work on music full time, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I maybe work on music 8 hours out of the week. And there's going to be a disconnect in terms of, that's why you see people people leapfrog me in general. And it's because of they're all in, they have both feet in the door. And so second guessing is me telling myself, go inside the door frame. Stop second guessing that shit is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And believe it. And so that's why I just kind of like incorporated myself and started treating myself as a real artist in business in general. But that's how that record came about. So that last 10 seconds on that record it's like I hold that. Like I love it when it plays in my ears on the car. It just sounds wavy.
Yep.
And it just makes me go to 10 seconds, gets me in a whole different zone. So.
Yeah. That's a great story, and it's interesting. Not everyone will say the last 10 seconds of their song is their favorite part of a song. Usually, it's the song fading away, but it wasn't in this case. And that was the song that I
all
used
the
when I
records I
shouted you
like.
out.
I like all the records. Like it's like giving birth to a
Yeah.
child. Like at some point, they got to go out there, and be themselves and do their thing. But yeah, I love all my records. I wouldn't have made it if I didn't think it was good. If I don't think it's good, I trash it from the first instance. I never even record the song. So basically, at that point, once they're all out, I already love them all.
Mm-hmm.
I have my favorites, but I love them all. But I know the ones that I love, it's probably not gonna match the ones you love, or the ones he's gonna love, or she's gonna love, or them. Period. So yeah.
And it's just interesting, the 10 seconds, like I said before. And man, I mean, Rosedale, it took, was it 3 years in writing, 3 or 4 years of writing?
Mm-hmm.
That's dedication.
So I'm just gonna keep that same mentality and just that hard work, that work ethic, dedication in general. When it comes over to the next ones, like I plan on holding myself accountable for the next 10 years. I want to be part of the big three. For the decade of 20.
The freshman double XL cover, all that.
Well, yeah. I'll do that for sure.
Yeah.
I'll take all of those. But when I talk about like just respect in general,
top 3 artists in the game.
Mm-hmm. For that era, because when you start thinking about hip hop in totality and all the generations, sometimes some people won't even crack top 20 for people's lists. But for the decade, I want to be what Drake, Kendrick, Cole are. I want to be that. I want one of those spots. And that's what I'm gonna try to. So I'm gonna hold myself accountable to like literally have consistent releases for the next 10 years. If I could release twice a year, that'd be great. I don't really believe anymore of, oh, you can't put out too much music. Because I literally see it in front of my eyes of people putting out loads and boatloads of music. Let's get rid of the fact of do you think it's good or not? They are doing it and they are hogging, all the attention.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, they can do it, I can do it too. But I can do it better.
And don't let anything stop you either, and don't ever let someone tell you no, because that's your dream. Sure. No one can ever tell you no. I hated people telling me no in my life, and those people, I didn't take their advice. So
true, but it's okay if people say no. It's just like, all right, I guess I will find another way. I'll just circumvent the no.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are gonna say no all the time. Sometimes you just don't fit in their agenda, and I don't take it personally. It's just they have something that they're handling right now, and I don't necessarily fit in their vision for the foreseeable future. So I don't really take it personally when people tell me no anymore. I just think of it as, oh, it's just no for now.
Yeah,
no
that's now. Interesting.
And I won't hold that grudge and be like, you said no to me. I'm never gonna work with you ever. No, it's just all right. It's no for now. Like I understand. It's about leverage. People say yes when they know that it's beneficial to them. If it's not beneficial to them yet, the answer is always going to be no. I mean, you did the interview and I appreciate that for sure. But for the most part, it goes based off of, can you get me some streams?
Yeah.
If you can't, then I'm going to go with the next artist that can. So, yeah. And I don't take it personally. I just be like, I understand.
Yeah, I'm not like that, man. I hope this gets you streams. I think it will. Is this your first interview, or you've done other interviews before?
This is the first interview for Rosedale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, man. I'm glad that I'm your first interview, and it's important. If you're listening right now, St. John's University, or on the live stream on YouTube, make sure you go check out Rosedale by Clarkoh right now. Your rapper name, man. Mm-hmm. Why did you choose Clarkoh? What's the significance behind the name? Is there a meaning or a story behind it?
All right, so my middle name was Clarkson.
Okay.
So it comes from that.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I choose to go Clark? Is basically at the time, so 2014 is when I started taking like just me as a brand and artist
Mhm.
forward. So at the time, I made this clothing line called Sage, and it's just an acronym for success attained by great efforts. I was just so just thinking about I gotta make it, I gotta make it, I gotta make it right now. Um, and just I wanted all the glory, all the money. Right now, I haven't even done anything to earn that. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but basically it was success attained by great efforts by 20. So it started with a clothing line, and I didn't know. I knew I didn't want to use Jabari anymore because it was too many syllables. I love my name. I prefer people call me by Jabari. If you know me through music, just say Clarkoh or Clark. You know, it's easy. That's how you know me.
Mhm.
That's what's convenient. But people from high school before that family, they call me by Jabari. But when I go into meetings and stuff and emails, I still use my regular name because that's just what's professional.
Mhm.
Um, but basically, so I named myself Clark Sage for the acronym on that.
Yeah.
That's how I released the Moss Anomaly. That's why I couldn't get the rest of my releases up on Spotify and Apple Music because they won't let me. They wouldn't recognize the name change. I had to upload everything under Clark Sage, which to me is I'm not doing that because that's not the brand anymore. And I took off Sage because there's another Sage. So I just was like, all right, I can't use my first name. To me, I just thought it was too many syllables to promote to the world. Um, so I was just going by Clark, and then, but that was too generic in terms of search results. So I just added an O on the end. That was also generic. So then I just added an H to keep it the same thing, silent. And then it hit from there because the tags came in. Clarkoh got that sauce. Um, oh my God, it's Clark. And then Clarkoh
Yeah.
Papa Zeus. The tags were really brought the branding and allowed the name to stick. Yeah, that Clarkoh got that sauce tag is the one. But basically that's how the name came about. It's nothing special. I wasn't gifted it. It was just already my name in the first place, Clarkson. And so I just repurposed it. Because I didn't have like a Lil here or insert weird name here type of thing. It was just I'm me, so I'm gonna just keep being me.
Mhm. And yep, like you said, keep being you, and it's a unique name nowadays. You'll have someone call themselves Lil, and then as long as you don't have a Lil something, I think you're pretty well off in distancing and making yourself unique in this game.
If you have a cool names though, for sure, they'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're good. They're good
They'd be
laugh.
like Lil Cell Phone Android. That's my last name. Like, okay.
Yeah, what happened to the days when it was just Lil Kim and Lil Wayne? Oh
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
I mean, but something that is very important in making yourself unique and setting yourself apart from other artists is having a website. I was very impressed, man, because there's not a lot of artists out there that have websites. There's big artists in the game that don't have websites. So
Yeah.
when did you start doing the research out there and finding out that you should have a website? Was there someone that gave you the tip or advice that you should have a website? What was it in finding out that you should create a website for yourself?
So I've always had a website. I always felt like that was the backbone of a business in
Yep.
general.
100%.
So this is even since 2012. But obviously I had some name changes and things like that. But basically I always kind of felt like I don't know where I heard the information because it definitely didn't manifest within me to be like, I need a website. I heard it from somewhere. And then over time, um, you just start hearing it more. And then the reasons why it's important. And then I started gravitating towards that. One main reason why I always say I need to have a website is at any point when I knew I needed a website was when I was working with Google Play directly. So no distributor, just uploading straight to Google Play, and then they X their whole thing. And to me, I'm like, oh, at any point, any of these platforms could be like, we're out of business, we're not doing this no more. And then so where do you go from there? So I always knew I needed a centralized location, well, one where I can sell directly to consumers, And it's profitable because now I don't have to give anybody a percentage of anything, but it comes at a cost too, because you're not in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So when you're not in the marketplace, you definitely do lose out on sales in general. So when you think of like Amazon or iTunes, just being on the platform can get you sales if you pop up on the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's important to have your own website. And I knew that since about 2015 is when I was like, all right, I really need to always have like a consistent website in general.
That's important. I have my own website as well.
It's important for sure.
Yeah, it is.
The easiest way to promote your message, like unfiltered, that's where everyone can come and see what you are. So if you're an artist out there and you listen to this stream, I would say that is the first place you should do, because in today's age, we don't carry business cards anymore.
No, I still do, and I'm telling my e-board members at the radio station or Hem and Hawn, you got to have tell them, Clarkoh, you got to have a damn business card.
Well, I use my website as my business card.
I do. I have both. I have both. You got to use both. Yeah.
The home page of my website has everything you'll need that a business card has. Their business cards are necessary.
Yeah.
But I'm only gonna have the business card in my pocket for 2 days.
Everything's digital too. No one likes pen and paper anymore.
So people nowadays, they'll use like their Instagram as their business card. And to me, I say Instagram doesn't promote me. Shoot, if anything, I feel like they're hiding my posts, if anything.
And another thing about Instagram too.
I feel like I have to pay to reach my followers, but okay.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, Clarkoh.com. That's exactly where you'll find everything you need to know right from the home page. Make it as simple as possible. So if you're an artist out there, that's the first thing you need to do. Mm-hmm. The second thing you need to do is start taking your career as serious as you want to go. Meaning, I suggest you join a PRO ASAP. Obviously, you're probably not going to be getting any money. But the point is, do you want to miss out on anything if it does pop off tomorrow? Because people's careers are taking off. I don't want to say overnight because they've been working forever, but the trajectory of their career goes upwards overnight within a click of a playlist ad. Yep. So your song can now be earning income, but do you want to miss out on 6 months of income because you weren't already with Sound Exchange, or say it gets picked up at a radio station and now you're missing out on maybe almost 8 to 12 months of income because you didn't have your stuff set from the get-go. So if you listen to this, those are the two things I would say start joining, because for one, join a PRO, choose whichever one you want, for the reason of, well, you're also working with a producer and stuff like that. So do that, because it gets it out of the way in terms of curation in general and understanding who owns what part of what song, and it's already there. So basically, you don't even have to worry about it when it's time to shop the record, period. Second, be available everywhere. And to me, I have a problem with that a little bit, but I'm not second. Third is be available everywhere. But I say that in the sense of, you want to have everything centralized on your website for sure, because at any point, all these platforms could just be like, nah, we don't do that anymore. But at the same time, be available everywhere, because the market is everywhere. I can say I don't want my music on Spotify, but the reality is that's where all the listeners are right now. So be available everywhere and then push to whatever site that you want. I prefer you to push to your website because that's where you can get it directly to consumer. But be available everywhere, so you can put it on YouTube, put it on all the distribution sites that are out there, period. Because at the end of the day, not everyone's going to listen to their music how you listen to the music. And then fourth, I would say, it's okay to not be good right now. You're going to get better. Yeah. So keep it up. And yeah, that's what I tell people now. Like, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not any bigger than you. I'm not any. Um, I'm not. I'm not that special in terms of things. I just create, and that's all we can do. And eventually, it'll catch up. Profits will catch up with the talent eventually, but you have to actually be creating and have them things serving out there in the world for them to even do anything in your name. Otherwise, we're just gonna be sitting right where we are. Nothing's happening. We're wondering why we ain't shit. So
Yeah.
those would be my
and you want to be
advice
contemplating that. Nope.
to artists in general these days. Just the best thing you can do is be ready. Be ready.
Always
You don't
be
want to
ready. Yep.
get it and then be caught off guard. You're hot now. You don't even have back catalog for anyone to go listen to before you can curate the next thing that they're craving for. Like, just keep curating, because eventually one of them is going to hit, and you want to be ready so that you can actually, you don't have to rush any work just to satisfy them now that you're on, Yeah, that's it really.
How easy was it picking out the domain name
It
and all
was
that?
dumb easy.
Yeah.
For sure. I knew no one was gonna have that at all, but that was another thing too when I was checking out the name.
Mhm.
The domain name availability definitely influenced what my name was gonna be in general too. Because if it was taken, I was gonna be like scratch. Da, da, da. So when you get in your domain, definitely want to do something that's simple and easy to type in. If I have to type in more than 10 characters, I'm not coming onto your website unless I have a link.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. So try to keep your domain name as short as possible that makes sense. So if you can do acronyms for the domain name, make it happen. But if it's ABCDEFGHIJKLMNOP as the acronym, you might want to rethink that. So yeah, short as simple as possible. But finding the domain, I was glad that it was open, and it reads easy on the eye when it's up on the address bar, and that's important because you can remember it when you look at it.
Yeah. And people like short and simple. It's the perfect domain name that you picked, and of course it's yourself. So
Yeah.
it's pretty easy. Your merch is on there. You spoke of making t-shirts going way back. I used to make my own t-shirts when I was younger. It was horrible. I used to go to Michael's and get the iron-on things. I remember iron them on, and then you'd wash them in one wash cycle.
Yeah, it'd be cracked. Cracked and everything,
Yeah.
cracked and crinkled. I had one dude call me out on that before, and I was just like, oh, it is what it is.
Were you selling these t-shirts?
Yeah, it was on a Hanes t-shirt. It was
Oh.
on a Hanes t-shirt. Oh man, I'm looking back. Oh, it was trash.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it because he bought it, and I was like, yo, I needed that cash to even get my first USB microphone. But yeah, like I was dumb happy. But yeah, I got that fire now. So if you looking for some stuff, definitely head over to clarkoh.com/shop. I got the Rosedale collection out there. I actually have my New Balance shoe out there too. Not affiliated with New Balance, as in it's not an official release, but it's definitely my own rendition on the 997. So if you like that silhouette, check it out. Fire.
Fire. Yes, it is fire. We have so much more to get into here tonight. The producers, I saw you've been linking with a lot of producers in the industry. I saw Cash Money AP was someone that you were able to link up with. How were you able to get a connection in him, a big name producer in the game right now?
So it's not as deep as you think. He
Really?
has a beat store on beatstars.com. So if you're an artist, definitely check out that platform too, because they have their leases already kind of set in stone right then and there. Or if you want to buy an exclusive, you can negotiate with that. But basically, he has his own beat store. And I was like, all right, it's an industry name. I didn't put his tag in it because I didn't put any producer tags in the whole album.
You have your artist tag though.
But
We'll get into
I
that
always
too.
credit them. I always credit them. But sometimes the tags don't sound up to par.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to keep it branded as Clarkoh got that sauce. Oh my God, it's Clarkoh Papa Zeus. But yeah, it's not as deep as you think to get that beat placement. I just bought it from his website, bought a lease, and used it. So Yeah, it's not even as deep as you think. It's these guys are accessible.
Yeah.
And even by email, without a beat store, they still are accessible. You just have to probably have the correct budget.
Mm-hmm. And that's great that you chose those producers for the album. I think it gives it a great sonic sound, especially in this day and age. That's what people love to hear. Rosedale available on all music platforms. Make sure you go check it out. You got to keep promoting it during the interview so people know what it is. Clarkoh, go check that out. Your artist tag.
Yeah.
With that.
How did I come up with that?
Yeah.
So I just wanted something. So this is around like I got the tags in 2017, and basically I was just thinking of it as I was like, how can I think of something that's gonna stand out? And the first one that came up was "Oh My God, It's Clark," and I wanted that to kind of play on any like smooth record or anything like that. And basically, I just was like, I just want something that standing out. So I just said, "Oh my God, it's Clark." And I just was like, all right, now I need to find someone to actually do it. So I hired voice tag gods, and they made it possible for sure. So I just like recorded it out. I put the female voice on it and everything. Send it to them. She did it. I was like, bet, it sounds great. Then for the other ones, I would record it out as well. And then I would be like, this is how you pronounce it. Da-da-da-da. Send it to them. Be like, say, Clarkoh got that sauce. And then put the effects on it and go from there. And then, yeah, so I just came up with the tags off of a whim, but I had to do it that way because it had to make sure it felt like it was natural enough to go on a song. And then the Papa Zeus one, though, no one calls him Papa Zeus, but it's me just kind of flexing. It's just me kind of flexing to say, like, I'm better than y'all type of thing. Like, I'm sunning y'all. I feel like I'm God out here on these tracks. But that's just how that tag came across. It's just like, I guess you could just say it's not even an alter ego. It's more to just say that's the energy I'm on for this track right now. That's the type of time I'm on. You know,
not too many artists have artist tags. It's usually producers that have the producer tags, Cash Money, AP, Static Select. The new producer, I mean,
it's definitely inspired by Maybach music. It's definitely
Maybach music.
That's like the greatest tag ever. Maybach music. It's definitely, that's the only reason why I thought I should have had tag. It's because I fucked with what really got me into Rick Ross. I've always been aware of him for sure. I definitely fuck with him, and the tags always used to stick out to me. And to me, it always sounded great on that Justice League production. And I would always be like, damn, one day I'm gonna get on a track with Justice League. And I always like that. Justice League. And then Maybach music was always sounding elegant. And so I was like, I want my own. Simple as that. I was like, I want my own. And it's good for brand recognition. So I made the tags.
Yep. And you're a student of the game, and you're integrating all of these elements that which you study into your own craft. And that's important because you're developing your own style. I don't think there's too many artists out there that really study what is in the industry and what they hear and see every day from not only just life experiences, but when they're basically just have the headphones on their head and they're tuned into the music, they want to create their own version of what they hear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I go about it. I'm inspired, but I'm never derivative when it comes to things. I definitely always try to be original. Just make new age things. But I definitely have inspirations. I just try to make it a point that you can't hear my inspirations when I make the record.
Yeah.
I feel like that is important. I do think it's a misstep that a lot of artists these days take. They completely miss it when they're approaching. They just kind of think of it as paying homage. But to me, I just feel like it's lazy. Just saying.
Or biting.
Because at the end of the day, like, yeah, we all love homage being paid to us. We love credit. But yeah, they're gonna feel a way to hear the same bars or the same exact flow on it. And yeah, you didn't mean it like that, but at the end of the day, you can't control how the other person's gonna feel. If someone impersonated me, I would be clapping. I would be like, thank you. Yes. Someone from the school of Clark, let's go. I would never approach it as they stealing from me or anything like that. I would feel like, let's go. Let's start building this tree now.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of other people who just kind of like, you could tell that they learned from so and so.
And that's you. Are you working on any music videos for the album at all? I know despite COVID, there are people still in the industry still doing music videos. Are you having any of those made or?
So I am planning on them. Do I have any made right now? The answer is no. But I want to, and I made all the songs with the intention of a video happening on them. That's why they all sound very commercial ready.
Every song or no, just certain ones?
I would love to do it for every song, but videos are expensive.
Yeah.
When you hit up videographers, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah, no.
They don't want to hear that. Oh, I'm gonna put it on my platform.
Put the 22 songs on there.
Yeah, you gotta get views. They don't want to hear that. They want payment now.
Yeah, all they care about is the green, the money.
Yeah, and they should. They should, because how else are they gonna get their money?
Yeah.
But I can't pay you right now, so I gotta get this album hot first, and then I'm gonna approach you, and then I'm gonna pay you, and then that's how I feel about it. But yeah, plus like I'm tired of doing videos with I'm just out on the street, kind of just rapping in front of the camera. Those are all cool and all, but I want to have concepts in mind, and I write all my storyboards with concepts in mind, and it's gonna be expensive. I can't approach with the typical $1,000 budget. I'm gonna need, so if you listen to this, go stream the albums so I can get some cash and then make some music videos.
Yeah.
And so we can blow from here.
Yeah.
That's it.
People want to see the visuals. If people love the music, you got to get the visuals.
I'm definitely going to create some fire. You can check out my videos right now as well too, but I'm definitely going to create some fire. Like, I'm camera ready for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think the songs would definitely go good with music videos. They're well matched for that. So something that I wanted to get into with you is your relationship with Andrew, aka Young Cornbread. Shout out to Cornbread Media.
Hey, Young Cornbread.
Yeah, that's my guy right there. Yeah, he was one of the ones who really showed me the ropes at WSJU Radio St. John's and gave me a lot of advice. And it's kind of funny how time passes by. And there were things he told me when I was a freshman and I was a sophomore that I've seen within the station, things that have gone on personally, and just the toxicity of the radio station and just people in college, and a lot of advice that he's given me that's helped me along the way. But how did you meet Andrew?
So I knew Andrew basically his whole life.
Yeah.
We went to school together. I actually used to like sometimes I would be in like I'm only like 3 years older than him. I'm only 3 years older than him. And so we went to elementary school together.
Okay.
That's when we first met. I used to like be at the bus stop with him, wait in the car while it's cold outside and everything, because it get freezing in Boston for sure. And then so I knew him from we was children, but I'll say we got cool when I was in I'll say high school. And then because it was an age gap at that point, like by the time I'm in middle school, he's still in elementary school, and then time just passes. So I'll go through a full middle school without him. So the reconnect came back in high school. Now we're close in age, kind of. And then just hanging out in general and Concord in general. And that's how we just got close from there. And I would always hit him up because he's a beacon for advice. I swear, as young as he is, he can really help you ground mentally. And he just knows things, has a different perspective. And I value that. And that's why he's around to this day. Like for the most part, if I don't really feel like a friendship is what it is, like I'm cool with everybody, but we just probably won't talk. But I never have a problem with anybody. It's more like, all right, I'll see you when I see you type of thing.
Yeah.
But Andrew was always there with that sound advice exactly when you need it and exactly when you don't need to hear it or not trying to hear. He's coming with the real, and I value that. And that's how we got connected for sure to this day.
Yep. Shout out to Andrew, man. I mean, yeah, like you said, he definitely gives you the advice whether you want to hear it or not.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I want to hear his
Yeah.
knowledge, and I value that. And he's one of my closest friends out of the radio station. Probably like definitely in my top 3 that I talk to, and I still talk to. Mainly, what's crazy is that my main circle of friends from the radio station have all graduated, and I'm amongst a snake pit, but Andrew definitely isn't one of those. We see eye to eye, and he's a great guy. Shout out to him, what he's doing, Cornbread Media. Make sure you go check that out again.
Hey, Cornbread Media.
Yep, Cornbread Media. He's getting his start out
the
there.
Y podcast.
Yep, the Y podcast. Yeah, go check out that episode with Blake Breeze and his other content that's up and coming. I saw on my Instagram post, who was another fellow Boston artist, Sekou.
Yeah, he got fired.
Yeah, he's got some fire. You got some upcoming talent from Boston. Yeah.
When I first heard him off the rip, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I gotta step my shit up.
Yeah. Really? Rip. Oh, so you were like, you gotta step your game up when you heard him.
Yeah. That's how I felt. It wasn't like, oh, I felt I was bad. It's more like, oh, like, no, there's another level I gotta go to. And he brought that breath of fresh air when I first heard him, and I was like, oh shit. I gotta always keep my foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good artist. He's a good artist, but Boston definitely has some talent up there, young up and coming. I know I've had a few other artists that's from Boston.
Fire too.
Yep.
Definitely check him out.
Yep. Go check him out. A couple other ones, Millie's, OT the Real, a couple other spitters out of Boston right now. Yeah,
all of them fire. And they all got their own lanes in Boston too. They all got their own lanes. I'll say no one in Boston sounds like each other.
Yeah, no.
And I'll say we all sound ready to be on.
Yeah.
To be real.
Do you think it's hard coming out of Boston?
Say that again.
Do you think it's hard coming out of Boston at all? Because I'm from Connecticut originally, and it's so difficult coming out of Connecticut.
I don't want to say that
for some reason.
I don't want to say that it's hard. Mm-hmm. I want to say that we just don't have a light shown on. And one of us, as more of us become on, you'll start looking at the city in general. But I don't really feel like it's necessarily hard because the internet is out there for us. We could all have like my boy Trey the Kid, he's popping right now. Like everyone can have their own lane, and the internet makes that possible. But as we get to it, as we build, the city's just gonna shine a whole light in general on all the other artists. Like Joyner, he's doing this thing out from Worcester. Yep. That light gets shined on Boston as well, just by Massachusetts Connect in general. So I don't necessarily think it's hard because I see it happening. Like Cousin Stiz, Michael Christmas, all these guys are having like a national presence.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're just gonna start thinking of Boston as another place, kind of similar to how Toronto came about. And Houston has always had its own lane right there too. But similar to how Toronto got its beacon, Boston will have its beacon soon. All we need is like a few more artists with a national presence. Hopefully I'm one of them. And you're going to start looking at all the other artists here because I feel like we're all ready. For sure. We're all ready.
I think so. And I know you wanted to come on the show here today, talk hip hop and radio and some advice that I wanted to give you as well. Just ask you, have you connected at all or tried to reach out to any of the Boston radio stations?
No, I haven't. Mostly because I don't want to say that they can't, but it's just generally not possible. Like they have to play what's popping.
Yeah, that's the issue. Yeah,
and I can probably get on like the late night radio spins, and that's cool as well. But the morning radio and drive home radio is that's the playlist money right there.
Yeah. The payola club, yeah.
But I don't want to call it payola because at the end of the day, it's more like this is what they have to play to keep their listeners out. Like those are the songs that are hot right now. And they just assuming the fact that because it's hot, that this is what we want to hear. So they're going to just keep playing those same songs right there. So when I talk about have I reached out to them, no, because I don't fit in their agenda right now. It's not even the answer they're gonna say is no, and it's not personal.
Yeah.
They like the songs, but it's like you can't bring in money for us. You can't bring in revenue at the end of the day. They don't take chances. They take chances on the data that is already not even chances. They take the data that's already in front of them that shows what is giving them results. And all they're doing is just recycling what's going to continue that process.
Yeah.
So have I reached out to them? No, because I don't fit in their agenda yet, and I don't have enough leverage to get them to say yes. So that's why I haven't.
Here's my message to the big radio stations out there. You could play what you got in your payola club, but shed some light on some talented young up and coming artists out there, because the DJ should be breaking out the up and coming artists that should be up next. They should have their ear to the streets, their ear to social media, their ear to whatever's popping on YouTube, and really look out there what's talented and start changing the wave out here. Stop just playing what you're paid to play, because you can play it all. You can. If you really want to. You could throw 1 or 2 records in there. You could. There's no excuse.
And people will respect that. They would. They'll go to you and be like, you're actually giving me some fire that I actually can have as a soundtrack of my life. So they'll get into that. Again, I do have to bring this interview to a close. But if you're listening to this right now, funny, because that's the exact words I used to start the album. If you listen to this, check me out. I'm on all streaming platforms. If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Clarkoh_. That's CLARKOH_. Or if you don't really remember things like at names and stuff, just go to Clarkoh.com and you'll find everything you need from there, whether it's my socials, merch, music, videos, live stream, etc. So yeah, check that out. Big shout out to St. John's Radio. Big shout out to Mad Max. I appreciate it. If you ever need some drops, I'll be sure to do that.
I'm happy to
do that.
Yep.
I'm excited to do that.
I appreciate that. I'd get them play. I actually play my artist music. I have my own radio station on Live 365 and everything on there. So we'd get the drops on St. John's.
I'll get on there and be like, you're now listening to DJ Mad Max. It's your boy Clarkoh, aka Clarkoh got that sauce. You already know we in full effect. Let's get it.
Yeah. Let's do it, man. And I know you're going to be sending me the MP3s. Yep. I know you're going to be sending me the MP3s. We'll get those in the rotation for you. Start giving you the college radio exposure up here at Queens, St. John's University, and as well as my personal radio station. And yeah, I mean, I want to thank you for coming on the show here tonight. I had a great time talking with you. I think you have a very long road of success coming your way, man. I believe that you wouldn't be on my show here tonight if I didn't think so. And Andrew said nothing about great things about you. You're definitely heading in the right direction. And like I said, it's just the exposure, it's the opportunities that you're given and everything just to increase your platform and awareness out here. Once you start getting that awareness, it's going to be off, because I see the talent. It's just a matter of time. That's it. It's just a matter of time.
It's a matter of time. That's what I tell myself too. And then word.
Yep.
But with that said, I gotta roll out because
no doubt.
I'm about to be on the clock. About to go back to the plantation right now. So save me, buy my album so I don't have to. Yep. All right.
Yep. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, man.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and yours as well.
You too, man.
I would definitely be willing to get on another interview. We could talk about whatever. I definitely want to get into sports and hip hop as well as other things in the radio industry too. Like, I actually wanted to have that conversation. I just ran out of time right now. Yeah, man. I mean, that's fine. We can always do a part 2. You're locked into my show once. You support me. I support you. You're down for life, man. That's how it is. Word. I appreciate that.
No doubt.
To everybody out there listening right now, y'all have a great night, and you'll hear from me soon.
No doubt. All right, Clarkoh, take care, man.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.